Welcome back to the Xfinity Analyst Desk. If you'll notice, it's rather bald on my right. Oh, wait. It's a little late for that one. Yeah. No matter what, we did have a great showing there from Team Liquid. Clawing back into it and ultimately taking a victory over Cloud9, 19-16 there on Inferno. And as much as it pains me to say this, you guys are right.
As always.
And I was wrong. And that's just the end of that.
Yeah.
It happens, Trace. It happens.
Okay. And? Tell me more about this match, guys. Yeah. What exactly went wrong here for Cloud9?
Well, I mean, we can start off what Cloud9 actually got working for them, honestly, in the first half. Because we talked about Mirage was looking pretty flat from start to finish from them. We didn't really see anyone kind of step out, take charge. On the CT side, though, first off, they managed to break the economy. They went out that kind of game of economic chicken with Team Liquid to start things off. Caesar's around going back and forth. And then you have Tarek and Ska, and also Stewie kind of throwing his name into the ring there for the better part of the first half. Unfortunately for Cloud9, Stewie kind of falls off as the game progresses, but obviously Skadoodle and Tarek having a great game overall. And that's kind of what went right for them. They were doing what you highlighted, especially in the pre-match. They were being disruptive towards Team Liquid, not letting them get too much map control for free, constantly just feeling under pressure before they were actually allowed to get towards any of the bomb sites.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. Liquid just played one hell of a game. Then after that great start of Cloud9, you know, Elise starting to step up, Twist being this young prospect starting to step up as well. Trace obviously amused by that. So
what am I amused about it? Pimp, I know
you love young talents.
I know that you deep down you wanted to say Cloud9 was going to walk away with that, and for all intents and purposes, it looked right from the beginning. It looked like Cloud9 were going to take that map.
Problem was that Liquid just started to play Counter-Strike a little bit better than Cloud9 did. And especially as you said, you know, Steve 2K, he was there in the beginning, but he just fell off completely. And that was not to be seen pretty much from the get-go of the Liquid comeback. Neff started to step up, Twist, as we just highlighted, you know, probably the best player on the server throughout that match. Elish in the big round, he stepped up once again. He has a tendency to do that. So overall, Liquid just played a fine game, you know, and made that comeback possible by some great individual plays, but showing some resiliency as a team, you know. And we highlighted that a little bit also before the game started, that Liquid is more sort of like a team with a big T, whereas Cloud9 is these great players meshed together on a team and just making the best out of it, whereas Liquid might be more like a team with a set plan and a coach behind it in Zeus trying to pull the strings and stuff like that. And I think that's what we got to see in this game.
Yeah, you know, and we talked about how they always seem to show up regardless. It's very rare to see Team Liquid blown out on a map like Inferno. And even though it looked obviously a little bit sketchy there for a while, they do manage to string it back, and they do it, you know, not necessarily by stroke of luck every single time. They're not necessarily getting bailed out massively each and every time, where it's just, you know, hope hanging in you know, in a very slim thread. So that's solid. That's good to see. That's what you want to see from Liquid, and that's what you've come to expect from them. Even though they've, you know, they're a fairly new lineup, but you know, they've kind of solidified the pace early on.
Well, it's going to take more than just a single stroke of luck in order for Liquid, Liquid to find that footing that they want. But Cloud9 necessarily, they need to really kind of put some more emphasis into what's going on over there. Like, how is that breaking down the way it is? I have no idea. Pim, tell us.
I mean, we've seen some interviews from the Cloud9 guys saying that they weren't motivated after winning the major, and that's obviously one of the big problems for these guys, that if you're not motivated in a land of Counter-Strike, you're just going to lose games like these, because there's so many stuff going on at all times. Just went to Starlight, just went to IMCatcher, it's now back playing sort of important online games here in the ESL Pro League. It is the biggest league in the world, so they gotta find a way to motivate themselves, otherwise they're going to have a big problem. They're currently sitting 2-4. They didn't have a great showing against Optic yesterday. This is a problem for Cloud9. They're not off to a good start.
Yeah. Not off to a good start. Well, hopefully they'll figure it out. For all intents and purposes, it could take just a little bit of time extra. And before, since we do have a little bit of extra time here going into SK and NRG, our next matchup, we have a Way to Go Pro brought to you in part by Betway. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Describe how to go pro in CSGO using 3 words or less.
Play a lot. There you go. Watch, learn, and practice.
Dedication, desire, discipline.
3Ds, the 3Ds.
You got it.
Get good, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Just doing any other 3 words or that?
So, no. Demos, deathmatch, communication.
Dedication, focus, and fun.
I mean, it all comes down to
3 words.
3 words. Shit.
Oh, says one.
Sorry. Fun, practice, connections.
Play a lot.
Play a lot.
Dedication, motivation. Yeah, that's probably the two keywords for me.
I don't know. Learn to lose, I guess.
Yeah.
Practice, patience, and trust from your teammates.
Play, deathmatch play.
Play deathmatch play.
Train, train, train. That was easy.
Game, game, game.
Work, passion, and dream.
Be patient.
Dedication, passion, and be constant.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Hard work and motivation.
And I do have you two. We'll start with Pimp. Maybe, sorry, Halvor. Maybe holds a little more validity here. How is the best way to go pro, Pimp?
I mean, I think Zeus said it pretty well with the 3 Ds: discipline, desire, and kind of forgot
Determination.
Determination, whatever. You could put in some D words in that one, but you know, you gotta be disciplined. You could put in that one, for example. But you gotta be disciplined with what you do. And in general, I think the most important thing about getting a good Counter-Strike player is you know, your ability to work well as an athlete, in that sense, where you're serious about what you're doing, no matter what you do, whatever that's playing Counter-Strike or playing football, anything. You just got to be serious with what you're doing, and if you have that desire and that discipline, and you have a little bit of talent, mix that together, and you're gonna be good, you know.
Desire, discipline, dedication. Never say never, because one of these days that could reappear. You never know. You really do never know.
Some might come and take your job, you know, with that discipline.
Well, hold on now, relax. Let's go ahead and shift now into our next game flip pre-match. That's right. Be a boss, trade up, buy up, do whatever you got to do, but do it at game flip. I promise you that is the place to do it. We're going to be heading into SK and NRG. Our first match is going to be set on Train. Guys, we do know the asterisks involved here, and perhaps we should let the viewer at home know exactly what's going on. SK Gaming is at a boot camp in Cologne, Germany. Rightfully so. SK headquarters is in Germany. Now, with that, I suppose we should also say that they're going to be playing with a high ping.
Yeah. Obviously, not 100% sure where the server is going to be located, but regardless of where it ends up being, it's going to be somewhere in North America, which doesn't put you in a grand position if you're SK. So they're going to have a bit of an issue. NRG on their end, they're probably super happy. If you're going to go up against SK and you want to grab a map victory here and there, especially for a team that's vying for a playoff spot, playing versus an SK from a different continent is probably the best way to go about it. It does give them a better chance at winning, obviously.
Definitely. I tried it myself when I was playing for Team Liquid, playing from Europe and practicing with the guys over there in North America. And it's definitely a big disadvantage to play one guy with 120 ping. There's no doubt about it. It's not impossible, but it's going to be like one of those cases where SK have to change their playstyle. You can't go for all these duels that you may want to take. You have to play as a team. You have to trade frag at all times, because otherwise the ping is just going to ruin you.
No. That's very true. Now, honestly, we've seen players at time. Obviously, we have Adren being a famous example in the past. Is someone who's actually been able to produce with ping, but he's kind of grown up with it in that sense. He's been used to it for years, so he's kind of had an adjustment period of time. Obviously, never optimal, of course, but it's going to be a bit of a different take on it for SK's side. And obviously, you talked about the changing play styles. There's also the fact that a guy like Fallen, for instance, he can't reliably op with 120 plus ping. It's not going to be the same as sitting with the normal kind of setup that he has if he were to be in the US. So it's a lot of things that are going to be difficult to work through really for SK.
Pep?
Nah, I definitely agree. Like we touched upon it.
I don't know why. Pimp has a case of the giggles, and I wish we could understand it. Maybe I could just put my hand right on it. Who really knows? The reality is here, though, that SK Gaming are potentially going to have their backs against the wall right from the get-go with the higher ping. However, you talked about trading and really some of the core fundamentals of competitive play. Well, that could be almost impossible in situations. But then again, on the other side of it, SK could benefit from this.
There's no way they could benefit from it, but there's ways they can try to utilize it as good as they can. NRG, it also plays into their mind that they know they're playing against NSK playing with 120 ping, so they might go into this game being the favorites, especially after the good start they had. And that's not something they're used to, especially not facing a team like SK Gaming. So in that sense, it might play into their minds, but overall, NRG just has to do their thing. They don't have to change anything, They can play against SK with 120 ping. It's not like their bullets is going to go through them just because they have high pings.
Well, you say that, but...
This is online Counter-Strike. Let's all be very realistic and transparent to what it actually is.
But it's not going to be a problem. Like I've tried both sides of it. It's easier to handle, obviously, having the good ping and having to feel comfortable. You must admit that the SK guys currently the time is 2:30 when they start the game, right? It's very late here in Europe, and there's a lot of factors that plays in a disadvantage for SK Gaming. When you look at the bright side for them, it must be that they are the better team and they have better team play. You should assume.
Boot camping.
Been boot camping, maybe they've actually gotten good at this time around.
Just boot camping, you get this idea, this concept where like, hey, they've been learning, they've been studying, they've been training, going over new material. Well, when you do that for about 8 hours in a row during a day, and then finally you're going to play this online match, it's going to be a rough one for their minds. I mean, they're probably pretty wrecked.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the easiest situation to go into. And also the fact that we know that SK are boot camping in preparation for future tournaments. It's not necessarily like everything they've built up or what they have actually prepared, for the future. That's not something they're going to bust out today. Might not even be the correct maps for it. Obviously, we have to consider the fact that the vetoes were done ahead of time.
Well in advance, yeah.
Exactly. So for SK, they might have been working on their Inferno, for instance, but we might not see Inferno, and that kind of stuff comes into play. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge from that point of view as well for SK. They can't necessarily utilize all the things they've been able to get through with their boot camp in this matchup.
I definitely agree.
Well, let's take a look at the rosters. In case you are unfamiliar with either one of these teams, we can fly those bad boys in for you. SK Gaming versus NRG Esports. Coldzera, Bolts, Fur, Fallen Taco. And then over on the NRG side, Ethan Breezy, Cirque, Fugly, Daps. Now, we saw Ethan and Cirque putting in a tremendous amount of work the other night, to include Breeze. He was also there.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan probably the most impressive so far to start NRG season off. He's also the newest addition to that roster. We spoke about, Sick being a massive addition to the Rogue lineup. Similar case for Ethan really coming into this NRG lineup. I think it kind of propels them into a new tier really in NA, and how far they can take it, that's going to be interesting to see. But what we've seen so far has been really impressive.
Yeah, because I feel it's one of those NA teams. We also alluded to that yesterday. They have a purpose, with this lineup. They have different roles for each their player, and they all
make sense.
And it makes sense, considering it is an NA team. Cirque being the star Auber, and you can see right here. He does it all. He does the flashy plays. He does the safe plays. He's just a great player and a great talent from Bulgaria right now. And especially going into training against SK, knowing that Fallen is playing with 120 ping, he must feel confident that he can go up against Fallen and go up against all the SK players and dominate this game. Yeah. And that's definitely what NRG needs in order to win it. Also talking about Breeze, he's actually known for being pretty well on train in particular. He's just a great rifler on long distance for that matter, and he plays this outside area pretty well. So I think NRG is going to have a good chance of actually winning this one against SK. And they even would have, considering the SK might have been playing for home anyway.
No.
Playing from home? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the current form of SK could kind of allude to that in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Halvor, what do you think?
I mean, it's echoing the same thing, especially because of how impressive NRG have looked so far. I was really looking forward to this match initially because we talked about how promising NRG have looked, and now we needed them to go up against, a real team in that sense, or, proper challenge. Unfortunately, it's going to be with a bit of an asterisk today, but still, okay, it might be a bit of a stretch, but I would still rate SK as they are in current form higher than some of the teams NRG have gone up against to this point.
Definitely. It's just very important to note also for SK Gaming that they're currently sitting at 1-3 because they had to forfeit against Liquid yesterday. Let's say they do lose 2-0 today, it's going to be a 1-5, and that's going to put them in danger for even qualifying for the World Finals. SK is, it is, I know you're smiling, but obviously realistically SK is going to qualify no matter what happens, but there's still a chance where they go up and lose to some of the middle tier teams. They lost the map to Luminosity, so that could happen again. So they got to be a little bit careful with this.
Need to be careful. That is the name of the game if you're SK Gaming, taking on NRG. Obviously with quite a bit of latency on their side. And two guys that are not slow to anything would be Jason and Harold. Guys, did you have a good dinner or whatever you did? We don't really know what they do. Sometimes you just walk out, they come back. I worry about you guys.
I sat on the couch, Trace, and I had a couple sips of water.
Good.
So yes, it was lovely.
Sounds
very lovely. Yes, we're back. It is going to be SK versus NRG, and I like the conversation about the asterisks because that's perhaps one of the more disappointing things to me about this game is the SK pings from Germany, obviously, as they boot camp. Because I've talked a lot the past few nights, and definitely last night I spoke a lot about how this NRG roster is really intriguing and pretty exciting to me. So would have liked to have seen them against SK Gaming. That's going to be 100%. But this will have to do for now. An appetizer for this matchup later on this season, perhaps.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a shame. that right now SK find themselves playing on high ping.
Ooh, baby, that one hurts. 130 ping warriors, HPBs. We'll see how it goes. Here's the utility usage on the T side coming in, and Fur's going to be sitting far back, just tapping away. Not too much landing. Good, decent damage onto Ethan. Taco trying to manage it nicely. Not going to happen, and Fugly gets that opening kill, and the Molotov is going to block off the rotations. The smoke now is going to make things tricky. Fallen jumps through. And Breezy is waiting for his time. So many NRG players down at half HP, but they just can't complete the kills, and that's when Cirque gets involved. The 2-on-4 now for SK.
Yeah, Bolts and coldzera still up. coldzera up here, up on top of the rafters. Gonna be trying to find one. Does get away with it, but Fugly is here in connector. And Bolts don't really fancy his chances. Both players are tagged low, but that bomb has ticked down. And that is NRG to find themselves the pissed around here. Yeah, just to kind of expand on what you were saying, it's a bit of a shame. I wasn't really rallying behind this NRG roster originally. I know you were, Jason, but after seeing them play, I'm very much now a part of this hype. And I was looking forward to tonight's game to get like the benchmark of how they compare now versus some of the top teams in this NA division. But obviously, not really going to get the best indication of that when you consider that SK are playing on 130 ping.
Yeah, gonna be weird to draw some conclusions from this, if any at all. But the big thing that we have seen recently is against equal opposition in the ping department. Ethan has been a monster. There's Fallen with a scout kill. That's onto Cirque. And Taco's not going to be able to get away in time, but Fallen has rotated over, so that's for it up a ramp. The scout will have more of a chance to do damage, tapping away at Bolts. There's the pounce from Fur. Good trade from Ethan, though. A critical kill to come in, but there's still some danger into this round. SK still has a chance, and Fallen is remaining aggressive. coldzera 1 kill outside. The scout rings true onto the face of Breezy. And Ethan, I just talked about how good he's played. Well, it's his turn to step up to the plate in a 1 versus 3. Fallen going to rotate around, get the information of his positioning. Gotta stay aggressive, gotta find a kill eventually. Jumps in, 71 HP, finds the kill onto the diffuser. Needs a follow-up, but not gonna get it. He burns. He backs up into the flames, and I think there's gonna be enough time, especially with the kit.
And even with the super high ping, SK still a tricky beast to contend with as they manage to pull back that round there. Fallen landing some absolutely insane shots, rather, with that scout. Showing that
he's got some game.
Yeah, there you go. He kind of took the words right out of my mouth.
Here's Breezy, gonna get taken down. The AWP on Fallen. Taking a risk, but maybe believing they were going to buy anyways, and that Molotov going to slow everything down. This is great so far for SK. You couldn't have asked for a better start. Deagle's going to lead the way down. Fugly with an AK-47, and the AWP is now in place. Ethan, no smoke to block this off. And actually, I think that kill might prompt them to turn back. They've opened up an avenue back towards that outer bomb site. Fallen and Taco still here for the moment. Not a whole lot of options for NRG, though.
Yeah, still waiting with a few players outside of B. Daps still making noise over here in main. Oh, that was spicy as we just tune in there right at the very end. Daps does manage to square things up though as he drops out bolts over here on A, and that's actually pulled the rotation of Taco off of B. The bomb's going to start to fall back down into Pop Dog. Fallen on the bomb train, has support from Connector, although Taco's just pulled away, so the timing could be perfect here for NRG. Fallen tries to make a stand, but a missed shot. He's going to go down at the hands of Fugly. Taco now arrives, and this bomb site is overrun. Taco's going to keep pushing on in, and he's going to go down. Leaves this all on coldzera. 1v3. Daps first to fall. Starts to creep on in. Bomb ticking down. Fugly trying to peek on over. He's going to go round into the crosshair of coldzera. They've given him a one-on-one, and somehow he might manage to pull this back. The smoke's down. Going to start to dissipate, but it looks like he's going to tap on the bomb. Looks to try and stick it. Fugly's edging forward. The timing is to be there. coldzera a few seconds off, and Fugly does pick up a third of the round. NRG, they steal a second straight back.
Yeah, that's really good openings provided by Daps towards the owner bomb train. Even still almost lost that. They really misplayed that 3v1. Way too much peeking against one of the best players in the world. Even with high ping, you don't want to be doing that. And NRG almost handed him one with the defuse behind the smoke that was also laid down by NRG. So close call there. Scout is back in Fallen's hands, so are the Deagles and CZs, and surely they can't do this 2 rounds in a row. Cirque gonna lead the way out with that AK-47. Did spot one, opening kill on the Fallen, so no danger from the Scout any longer. Bolts is next up underneath Heaven. No real progression from NRG. They're trying to use the range of these rifles really well, and Cirque is going to be brought down to 2 HP. Now the MAC-10 is going to get involved. Daps on the hunt, creating space for his team, pushing up towards the bomb train. They know exactly where Coldzera is. They now know where Fur is, and it's going to be Cirque to finish things off. So NRG builds 2 in a row, and SK is going to have to sit this round out.
Yeah, a shot for Daps now to start to make some money. As he's got the MAC-10. Taco keeping some extra in the bank so he can drop the AWP over to Fallen. And this round with 1 PT50 to their name, you don't imagine SK is going to get too much done. Fallen going to go rushing through that smoke. He's actually gotten behind Cirque. Tags him up, but Cirque to turn around and finish him off. But oh, it's a slaughter. It's only Taco left, 1v5. Not really anything he can do here. Maybe find a bit of damage. Cirque is tag low. But kind of clutching at straws. Ethan going to find him, and Ethan will look to pad those stats that much more. 4-1 now, but now the buy comes in. Fallen grabs the AWP. Taco grabs an AWP, and they're going to double AWP set up straight from the offset.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of double AWP setups from SK as much as they possibly can with these pings. It's going to be expensive for them as well. So they'll have to go on a pretty good run here. And NRG looks like they might be fast-paced again. MAC-10 still in Daps' hands. They've already thrown a lot of utility towards this outer bomb site. Flashbangs as well. Good kill from Fallen, boosted up. First, the next one, he's blinded completely, just spraying away, and Ethan walks right into it. They're containing everyone at the choke points. Fallen with 2 kills. That is a huge presence from the captain and AWPer of SK, and Fugly and Daps have to back off. They can make no progress, and Daps still on that MAC-10. Heading back towards the inner bomb site. Taco has an AWP here as well. I don't think Daps knows that quite yet. Waiting for Fugly to join up with him, but they're losing an element of surprise and an element of speed with this kind of patient play. You can see Coldzera is not going to sit around waiting forever. He wants to go find the information. That's going to allow Bolts to rotate in, so the odds of them being able to take this just dropped dramatically.
Yeah, flash lands. Daps looking to be the Mac Daddy we know NRG deserve. 40 seconds left, goes running in. Able to find Bolts, but Taco now homes down his sights on the angle. Fallen's here as well, and Daps lurking to try and sneak on by. Might push through this smoke, and he's going to go running forward. Taco lands the shot, though. And SK going to be back in with a second round. And what they are lacking right now in internet, they are more than making up for with fragging prowess. The second round on the board, 3 guns saved. The AWP's still in play.
Yeah, and Cirque's got his AWP as well, and he's going to need to be a big presence on this T side. We kind of saw yesterday, we saw him show off some skills and some very tough spots, but he seemed to only really pop out those big plays when called upon in clutch situations, in late round situations. They're going to need it much early on to provide some openings, especially against these double AWP setups. SK Gaming applying a lot of pressure to this main choke point. Molotov and smoke deep in, trying to keep it out of the control of NRG for as long as possible. Breezy showing off some courage. Try peeking in towards Ivy. Fur is pushed up in towards ladder room as well. Bolts and Fallen are aggressive with him in front of the bomb train. Always a question of how these teams are going to handle taking ladder control. Smoke's going to be dropped. They wanted to do the double fall down, but it's going to be delayed, so a lot of time is being chewed off here.
Now, holds this, locked in this standoff with Fugly. Breezy, in the meantime, starts to slip on through, but Cold Zera waiting. And this smoke going to start to dissipate. The question is, who spots who first? The flash goes out. Fallen, he's actually the unknown quantity. Steps up, able to drop out Breezy. Tags down Cirque as well. Is there any limit to this man? 15 seconds after the ball has to go down, and Cold Zera going to be able to claim one and a second. Ethan going to trade things back in the blink of an eye. Is all onto Ethan. And he takes two before Fallen is quick to mop him up. So SK with a third. And now the money has almost ran out for NRG. You imagine they might just partial buy up here.
These are really important rounds for SK to win as well, because you want to put a little bit of fear into NRG. When they're the aggressors against the high ping, they're likely going to have the advantage. So for SK, for this double off to be effective early on and get them a couple rounds in a row now, for Fallen to start establishing that, you know, he's still going to be a very big piece of the puzzle for this defense on Train. If that can slow down these hits from NRG, that's going to be really beneficial to SK moving forward. Taco now, he's got an angle with the AWP, but he's not peeking it. He just wants to drop the Molotov as soon as they cross. Nade comes in as well and deals some damage onto Cirque. Fallen is rotated in, and even Bolts and Cold Zera outside condense onto the bomb train, so they'll be very quick into this B bomb site.
Yeah, they run through the fire and flames. Furs on top of the train, and he's going to just mow them down with this MP9. Runs out of ammo. Damps is able to find him at least. Ethan now falls. The bomb plant might come through. Yeah, they are pretty far away, so Damps has managed that, but Taco holds down the right side. Trying to bait out some shots. Damps going to go ahead and throw out that one molly. Taco finds him. A fourth round now for SK. And, you know, I mean, how humiliating do you think this would be on a scale of 1 to pretty humiliating for NRG if they lose this to SK? Because, I mean, the 130 ping is pretty bad, but SK still are, you know, one of the best teams in the world.
I don't think it's going to be that humiliating, to be honest with you. I know, like, high ping causes issues for the people playing with it and the people playing against it. So I think this is one of those games where you look at it and you just kind of, you can't take a whole lot from the results. I think the biggest thing is obviously NRG wanting to kind of use this to an advantage to get some wins over an SK for their playoff push. That's going to come later in the season. But in terms of, you know, overall humiliating of this isolated outcome, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, all things considered, if SK were to win this, especially considering they're one of the best players in the world. So, you know, I think they'll be okay. Taking a timeout now, though, 4-4. Still in a decent position, all things considered, with you know, a pretty hot start to this game. Plenty of rounds for them to pick up on this T side still. This timeout and freeze time come to an end. Still that double op setup looking strong. 3 kills with it in the previous round with the AWPs. Much faster pace from NRG. They want to pick it up. They want to get in the faces of SK and cause them to be in some very weird fights. That Molotov burning Ethan and preventing him from turning the corner. He might have been able to have a kill. Cold Zera is going to be boosted up, but he's dropped by Cirque from far back. That's a really good find. Ethan's position is given up, and the defense now slinking behind the bomb train. They don't have a whole lot of options, and they're starting to get wrapped upon. Fallen's got to fight his way out right through the smoke. He finds one, can't adjust onto Daps, who's pressuring the train. 3-on-3 scenario, and it's Bolts who gets aggressive. Now Cirque, it's his time. A double kill for him so far into the round, and he's freed up the bomb site for a plant. He's pushed back the defense. They haven't realized it quite yet, so that time is going to allow Taco and Fur to get into a new position. Perhaps surprise NRG. The bomb's still not recovered. Cirque needs to be wary. There is a smoke down, which allows him to cross over. Both players here, and Fugly hasn't yet got the bomb. This is Cirque going to swing out. Another boost coming in. They still haven't spotted this. Seems like Fugly knows, but he's not quite sure of it just yet. And Fur misses the opportunity. Op peeks in, takes out Taco. 1-on-2 for Fur.
Almost catches Cirque rotating away, and he has spotted him. The jig is up. They know this bomb is going to go down over here towards B. Cirque holds down the angle, though, and cements that round in with a 4K. Fantastic stuff from him. So he goes toe-to-toe with the best of them.
Yeah, that's a really good round. Getting involved in the action once it You know, some kills are exchanged once he has some open space. The rifles did a really good job of, even though it couldn't take over the bomb site itself, pushing forward and making sure no one could re-peek at him from awkward angles. So they had complete control of that outer yard. SK Gaming was really kind of trapped inside that bomb site, you know, right behind the train. That makes it so difficult for the defense. Look at this, though. coldzera going to push up. Flashes there. He's right behind the electric box. Saw NRG last time they threw this Molotov, they wanted to drop immediately after it was done. That's going to happen again. Fur, only with a CZ, can get nothing done. Does a little bit of damage, but not enough, and it's going to be Taco with an AWP. Still the double op setup is out. He needs to find some kills, and he has found one. He's brought down to 8 HP. He's got to back off. And he's heard more presence as well behind the kill of Ethan.
coldzera looking to try and retake this position over here in Pop Dog. NRG, they've already cleared it once. They have to try and clear it out once again. They're going to go in for the two-man drop. They fall into the arms of coldzera. Cirque's going to pick that frag up. In with a second. Fallen's gone down, and Bolt's desperately trying to find something, but he can't. Taco is left 1v4. With NRG knocking on his door. You can't imagine but he wants to stick around much more. Will be sent back. Dap's going to find him, and there's another AWP there for them to grab, but Dap's opts against it. Just wanting to keep the one up on Cirque. Holds onto the UMP.
Yeah, really nice for Cirque coming out of ladder room. 2 kills for him at long range, opening up all the opportunities, and NRG with that, they break the money. Talked about how expensive that double op setup is going to be for SK, even though they're going to prefer it with the high pings. They want to get aggressive as well. They've got a couple blind players from NRG, but Breezy's able to respond. coldzera and Fall and miscommunication on when they should kind of retreat, stop taking that fight. 3 kills for Breezy to neutralize the loss of a player early on, and there's been Ethan. All the meanwhile pushing up towards this A bomb site. Bolt spotted out with that USP. He will get nothing done. Just tapping in towards the smoke. It's going to go down as the bomb is planted, and Fur jumps out to his death.
Yeah, so NRG are going to be on to a 7th round. Some nice shots from Breezy. He'd been pretty quiet. Hadn't had a kill up until that round, I don't think. So padding his stats a bit, they're hopefully going to give him some confidence. The buy comes in for SK. This time there's no AWPs in play. We've got 4 M4s and a UMP up on Taco. Goes ahead and smokes this off and now holds over at the ramp. Cirque's weary that someone from SK might have tried slipping through. Speaking of which, Breezy can get one before Fur trades him over there on A. And that's allowed Daps to start to sneak on out. Question is, are they aware of Fur? He could do so much damage here. They have to try and get him out of Pop Dog. Probably one of the most important positions on the map to try and contend. And Fur is currently holding the fort.
I have managed to clear him out earlier, albeit it was with a CZ75. Ethan's applying minimal pressure towards the center bomb, so he's going to come in. He needs to find that kill on the Bolt. He misses some shots. There's also Taco there to the right. Cirque with another great kill towards the outer yard. Now they have to drop down towards Fur. This is exactly what he wants, and he's not able to react quick enough. Cirque can now get an angle towards connector with the op, so Bolts has to rotate the long way, and Ethan from behind, watching the flank. Taco's going to come down slowly, jumps right at the end. Big kill. Cirque with the AWP. This is a must-hit shot. He pulls out the Molotov. Gonna go back for it. Taco's got to fall away. That's a great one. Cirque recovers in times, and now Bolts. One-on-one, and he's got Fugly close up to the left, who's readjusted to the old bomb train. I don't think Bolts is going to realize this position whatsoever, but he does! And it almost feels like he pre-fired the angle. That's beautiful. Down goes Fugly. And the defuse is going to come in. Bolts wants to get the AWP afterwards.
What a round there from Bolts. That's going to be a 5th round now for SK. And can get the AWP as well. So that's going to be thrown over to Fallen. Only the one AWP though. Taco does look a little bit upset about it, but he's got himself a UMP. NRG, they're buying down. They've got money too. Cirque has that AWP that Taco lusts for so much. It's a good buy from either side. Fur's a bit limited, as is Fallen. Doesn't have armor. He's glass cannon with the orb, which is weird considering they just won that round. But Fallen able to open up onto Daps and throwing out a wall of smokes over here towards A. Is that enough, though, to divide and conquer this SK defense? Fur has players right by him. It's Breezy and Ethan to open up, but the trades have come through. Ethan and Fugly left alive. 2 versus 3.
What a weird position from Fur. I think Breezy's got to be pretty frustrated with that. Good win from Taco again on the flank. 1 versus 3. Tags Cold Zero, I think, through the train. He will fall in the end. I think we'll see another buy out of NRG as well. 6K on Fugly can drop over an AWP, and they can have 3 of their players around that afford an AK-47, so why not go for it? SK seems to be getting comfortable with these high pings. Much more confident battles being taken, much more ballsy plays being pushed into with the Brazilian side, and they're up 6-7. So they've had to make a couple comebacks, I guess you'd call them. Small ones, but they have been playing from behind most of this game. Looking to take a lead into the second half, and they've got 1 more bye to chew through, as I expected NRG to invest into this round. 1 AWP, you can see 3 AK-47s, and that last player gonna pick up. I'm gonna guess it's a Deagle.
Well, now I'm positively tingling with anticipation to see what he has, Jason.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the model for too long when it popped out. He pulled out his knife pretty quick, as Counter-Strike players usually do. Run with the knives. We'll see in just a second. No, it's a CZ. Ooh. I should have guessed. That bastard.
Ethan, as always, he keeps us guessing. Really kind of threw myself into that one and had nothing to say. But here's Fur, going aggressive. He might have a bit to say as he pushes up over here towards main. Now, from NRG going to do the same as they start to players over here toward B. Oh, I think it was Ethan. Yep, 1 in the back of Fugly. Stacking up outside this B-bomb site. Fur going to be hot on their heels as he waits down in Pop Dog. Pressure's about to be on for Taco and Fallen. They now try to lock down B. 4 players going to come their way. Taco holding close up on top of the train. Fallen at a distance looks to be a pain. And Taco, he has his work cut out for him here. First player does manage to get by. Fugly not so forgiving. Does go ahead and take his head clean off. And Fallen now trying to catch these players. The bomb goes down. Waiting for his teammates to rotate around. Fallen does get 1. So it's there to trade. 3 on 3. Utility to get into this one. Fugly and Cirque between them, mopping up this offensive. Fallen does tag Cirque down low, but that is going to be it from him. 1v3, and you imagine he just backs away to save.
That's an awesome round from Cirque and Fugly, playing that really well, covering each other perfectly on that sidewalk. Cirque perched up on the ramp, Fugly pushing up to get aggressive. Cirque kills the first rotator, and Fugly returns from the flash quick enough to be able to protect Cirque himself. So really nicely done. That's going to get NRG their 8th. So they'll go into the second half with a lead of some kind, whether it's 1 round or 2, we shall see. Although there's not a whole lot of money for SK into this one. SMG, UMPs coming out on Taco and Fur. Famas on Bolts. Deagle on Cold Zera. 4 players bought out to $0. Big advantage here for NRG to get up towards 9-6. Fugly's at 15, Ethan at 12, and Cirque at 14. Taco getting aggressive, a nice pop up. Ethan is completely blind, gets sprayed down by Fur, and here it comes. Cirque has to make some kind of a play. He's going to be able to. No. Fallen's there to shut him down very quickly. And NRG has been boxed in because Fur is aggressive in the ladder room. He loves taking this fight. He will eventually fall before he can reload, but Cold Zera is here ready to pounce. Deagle doesn't even care about that high ping, and SK gets to 7.
That is an 8-7 scoreline at the end of the first half. It is split right down the middle. At the end, SK, they managed to find that 7th round. They're feeling pretty confident here heading into the second half. There was a good T side from NRG. Now moving on to this CT side, I'm excited to see what they can offer. course, saw a good performance here from Fallen. He was looking fantastic. The double set up between him and Taco worked out whenever they could afford it. But almost felt like in a way they were no match for Cirque. He was looking fantastic. The NRG AWPer hitting his shots and feeling like he's in his prime right now.
Yeah, that's he's been awesome. He's obviously very good when you get him in open spaces. As are most AWPers, but he seems to have a very fast and very accurate, or I mean, I guess a very accurate shot for how fast, for how quick he gets the shot off, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But still, Fur and Fallen both above 90 ADR, even with the high pings. Pretty impressive. And yeah, like I said, even for the next map, I believe we're going to see, you know, more double op setup from SK than what we're used to seeing. As they're playing from Germany and training for WESG, which is coming up next week, I believe.
Yeah, they want to try and get that preparation in. Of course, it's a pretty big event for them. They said how it was going to be a focal point for them in a few interviews.
Yeah, it's a big prize pool,
yeah.
And everybody loves money. We're all money fans, so it makes sense. Well, 2 players of utility on this T side for SK, and coldzera lays down a deep smoke, a couple of flashbangs. This is designed to make Breezy feel nervous so that SK can get out of IV, and they've done just that. He's been forced away now. They can pressure onto the bomb train. Cirque just getting unblind now, and they're already close up. He's got to hit some shots, but it's Breezy who combines from old bomb train. Now Cirque has to reload. He's forced back into connector, so the bomb will get planted. It's a 4-on-4, and NRG still stuck inside the choke point. That's not good enough as Ethan gets punished. Now they finally push out. It's the spearhead into this outside bomb site. But they can find nothing. SK playing this patiently. They still have a Molotov on Fur as well. He hasn't gotten it off just yet, but there's no defuse coming in. It's just down to Fugly. Great kills from coldzera. And the Molotov is still on the board, which is a disaster. Fugly hunting down Fur, not going to be able to find it. All tied up at 8-8.
Yeah, and SK look now to try and extend this lead, or rather take the lead. NRG going to be cobbling a force bite together. Cirque going to save that much more. So he can get himself the AWP, because you can bet damn sure that SK are going to try and get that out on Fallen.
Yes, they will. But he's going to lead the way out with an AK-47 at the moment. Haven't seen anything. That deagle on Ethan does nothing. We saw Fallen with the scout in the previous half do great damage for SK with the scout and actually turn around in their favor. It's not happening this time with Fugly. SK not being too committed to take over the bomb site very quickly. They're playing it patiently and it's working perfectly. Haven't lost anyone and all the utility is being expended, and NRG with losing Ethan and Breezy early on are just going to give this up. They want the deagle, they want the CZ and the scout to be in the fight for the next round, see if they can get anything going the second time around.
Yeah, it will be a flawless round there for SK. Taco dancing around on the ladder. Going to go ahead and get the hell out of there. So SK, they do manage to take the lead. It's going to go 9-8. Split right down the middle here, about as close as we could have asked for. And Daps, potential for him to find a player here. The only issue is he won't find one. He'll find all 5. Here. All those footsteps down beneath him. Everyone stays live on SK. All 5 players. So money's going to be looking good. NRG, they have a second go of it, as you said, with what they were able to save forward. Daps has the CZ. Fugly on the scout. Cirque with the Deeg. And they're looking to try and put those to good use. The majority of players for NRG early on going to head over here towards B. You imagine we're going to see some aggression up in it. Towards Halls, but Taco's already out. They're already down. Pop Dog first found Cirque, and on the back of that, the A-bomb site has been cut wide open.
coldzera already ready for this drop as well from Daps, and Taco a chance for deathmatch if he wants to play that game, and I think he regrets his decision. So does Fallen, who's going to back away with his life. It's Bolts' turn. All Molotov going to be out. That'll pin them on the stairs, and I think Ethan might burn, and indeed he does. The rest get away. Fugly going to save the scout. Breezy in the USB, and there goes that CZ-75. Fur comes around. Would love to get this AK-47, and actually, even Coldzera's here for a fight, and they're losing a lot. I'm not quite sure why SK is challenging here, feeling very confident, and they might hand over 2 AK-47s to their opponents, and actually, no, it's just going to be the one. Fugly ends up not going for it, but some rebuys coming out for the T side, and some helpful economy handouts for NRG.
As you said, Jason, everyone loves money, and whether it is virtual or physical, you can be sure that NRG are big fans. So early on, gotta be sending a Fugly aggressive over here in B. Has spotted a couple of players out. They're going to start to come his way, so he will fade back into that B bomb site.
Foxhall's control, nicely timed flash, obviously well practiced. Boot camp coming in nice for SK. And they're just going to straight up hit this bomb site. Cirque far back with the AWP. Fugly's on the high train with an M4, and Taco's already down, and Fur's already dead. Taco's going to be pushing up sidewalk this whole time. Let's see if he can get anything done. I heard the footsteps, and a spray through the smoke is going to work out in their favor. Bong being planted. SK is trying to be cheeky, trying to get this round one with minimal commitment towards the bomb site. And Fur taken out early, Taco taken out as he pushes. Going to be easy for NRG, and with all 5 players surviving, they get to build up some money, and they get to switch into a double op of their own. So that's now an AK-47 that they've saved in 1 round and upgraded to an AWP, both for free.
Yeah, they'll take that all day long. SK, they have money to buy down on a few of these players. You imagine they're going to go for something here. His Fur's dropped an AK over, still has money left to spare, trying to figure out how they want to go for this. Taco going to be picking up the MAC-10, so you imagine... I was going to say maybe we could see the AWP come out, but now they keep a bit of extra money in their bank accounts, and all in all, they've got a decent buy together. Only on 3 players down towards Ivy. Coldzera's already out, and he's going to go running on in. So Cold looking to try and heat things up. Breezy. They line up for Breezy. Makes that look easy, and Daps does get caught out in the open in the crossfire. Fur going to find him. Sir, quick flick out onto Fur. It's all on bolts. This round was quick and pretty sloppy from SK. Going to get finished off at the end as NRG now tie things up once again, 10-10.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Very sloppy, not clearing out this corner. No one looking left. Taco jumping out. Fallen not clearing his angles. Perhaps an element of frustration from the high ping. It's easy to kind of lose some of the focus when playing under tough circumstances. Either way, NRG looking good. They have a lot of money built up, and Ethan's now going to get an advantage in ladder room. He's here very quick, and we saw him do this. I forget exactly who it was against the other night, but he was excellent in this position. He'll have a quick flank if it's needed, but a very centralized defense with Ethan here. They have Daps. He's in heaven right now over connector, but he'll be able to rotate pretty quick, and 2 players inside. Molotov is going to hold SK back for just a moment. It's the 2 AWPs in here, so some missed shots might allow a bomb plant, and actually going to be a kill, and actually trying to push up. Daps now comes in with the M4. It's 2 kills, 2 big kills. Fallen peeking with a scout does finally take him down, but a 3-on-3, and this is now a sketchy situation for NRG.
Yeah, we've seen Fallen do some damage with these scouts. He has a man in the sight with him. Fallen going to get chipped up. Ethan starts to push on in, and that Molotov really does heat things up inside the site. Fallen goes down in it, and now it falls into Taco with just a Glock in hand. Now to spot him out, he'll be dropped by Ethan. Defuse going to come on in, and NRG, they managed to take the lead, but bomb plant for SK on the back of a very weak buy. They can't be too disappointed with that.
No, not at all. They would have liked at least 1 more kill, would have been great for SK, but yeah, they put themselves in a position to potentially win that round with the right kill, with the right situation. But they had 2 players trapped at at Bomb Train, excuse me, and that's just never going to be ideal. So difficult to get out of that spot when you don't have any weapons to really fight with just pistols and a scout. maybe picking up the pace here, but that Molotov is going to slow him down. Fur is pushed forward, Bolts is pushed backwards. Not too much damage dealt, though, and this play from Breezy is huge. A lot of information can be gained. They can kind of be comfortable with ignoring Ivy for now, and Breezy is going to start pushing forward. NRG taking all the initiative in this game at the moment, and SK, the element of danger is increasing. Even though Bolts is watching this is a big fight that he needs to win. And he will, but Ethan takes out a blind Fallen in ladder room, so a pop flash through this smoke works perfectly.
Yeah, interesting enough, both the orbs for NRG over here in at this speed bomb site, playing it passive, and yet somehow Taco's still being allowed. Never mind, just as you said. Cirque's going to find him. Now coldzera looks to try and go toe-to-toe with Ethan. Cirque's not done yet, dispatching of these B players. He rotates over towards A and throws down the gauntlet here as well. Fur spotted out in the open. coldzera onto the orb. Missed shot out onto Cirque. Cirque's going to go back, ground him with a third. He looks fantastic. He's even tagged up Fur. He's not done yet. And he'll hit it the second time around. Jason, you spoke about him so much, and watching Cirque is such a delight.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. One of the most exciting players I think we have playing in this region at the moment. So that's quite cool to see. 4 kills for him, 23 and 12 on the day. I don't know if Breezy had to have reconnected at some point, but his score says 5 and 4. I didn't catch that. That can't be true. I feel like I've seen him get more than 5 kills, but either way. NRG playing a really solid game right now, and SK again going to pick up the pace this time with just pistols. It is all a ruse, however, as the main force of the attack is going to be coming towards inside, and they've actually cheated. Ethan and Fugly kind of walked away. Ethan now got to fight his way back in a position, but he's got the cover of the AWP, and that's going perfectly, swimmingly even, as Fugly picks coldzera out of the sky, which has nothing to do with swimming.
No, it doesn't. Nothing to do with swimming at all. But I can't tie swimming into that. I'm sorry, I really tried. It just wasn't happening. But yeah, here's SK. They've got the double up set up. I still got nothing. I really thought I'd come up with a swimming joke by now, Jason. It's not there for me.
Can't win them all, Harry. You'll figure it out one day. Don't always swing for the fences. Good opening kill, but Cirque here. This is the next challenge, and he spotted Fallen and not ready for that peek, and there it is. That's the bomb down towards Ivy. Cirque and Breezy combining for 2 kills, and every time it's 1 step forward, 2 steps backward for SK on this T side of Train. This is a phenomenal defense being put out so far, largely powered by that AWP of Cirque. In this kind of a position as well, switching over to the M4, he's going to take an awkwardly timed peek, and coldzera going to be forced back. That'll delay things so much, especially considering the smoke is going to be laid down and coldzera sees that gun barrel. He would love for him to peek, but it's not happening. I believe that's Ethan who's picked up the AWP and now has an angle, so it's even going to be harder once Taco gets here for them to even get close. They might have to use their own smoke to close the gap. And actually, no. coldzera once again picked out of the sky. This time by Ethan. Phenomenal opping across the board for NRG. 3 kills for Ethan in the round. And a commanding lead for NRG. I think it's been at least 4 rounds in a row for them.
Yeah, these double orbs have been looking good from the side of NRG. Cirque going to have that back in his hand. And SK, they've gone for the buy, as you would expect. They put everything into this round. If they lose this, they're force buy into the next. The economy will be broken. Well, want to break up this push. Fur's now here alone, but it does look like that Fallen's just gone straight on through to help out his friend in need. Lock down the position over here in main. Bolts has snuck ground towards Ivy, where Breezy wait. Fallen's opened up there with a quick shot out onto Daps, and now it falls onto Ethan to try and hold this back. Breezy is going to drop Bolts from the equation, but Fur's dealt with Ethan in heaven. Now Cirque comes rotating in. That's very quick from Cirque. And he's not done yet. He's up on the bomb train, dancing around. He's in with a second and I was going to say a third. It's Fugly to beat him to it, but there you go. Cirque does deliver. NRG onto a 15th round. They're going to go ahead and reach map point. And the AWP from Cirque has been phenomenal. Saying that, Fugly is also having a good time of it right now, though.
Yeah, I mean, Cirque has hit peak confidence in this game, whether it's because of the pings, whether it's just because he's playing so well. 27 and 12. This is what you like to see from him because he's taking this over, and it's much like Fallen does. You know, when we've seen some of the big games he's had on train, very, very mobile, very peak heavy around the different trains, around the different angles, always switching things up. Really good performance from the Bulgarian. We need to come up with a cool nickname for that. Either way, Pop Flash, or no, Smoke in. Pop Flash is going to follow and actually blind Ethan completely, but Fur can't capitalize on it. That's going to be frustration, and that is, you can see from that play, the ping factor out of Fur. Molotov going to hold back the Ivy play for a little bit longer. Pop Flash as well, and even Breezy feeling it, willing to take fights. A 5-on-3, and SK's got to come back in this round if they want to continue the match. NRG on map point.
Going to get beat there by Taco. Fallen has managed to slip by Breezy, but never mind. He corrects his error, leaving it on coldzera and Taco. 2 versus 4 here to try and keep SK in this map. coldzera starts to sneak on out, but Ethan's going to find him now. It's Taco left. 1v4. Not meant to be. Ethan picks him up, and NRG, they will manage to win this map out. 16-10 in their favor. They get it done on train. Dominant performance from Cirque and Fugly. Ethan stepping up as well. Kind of the names that we've come to expect on this team. Really doing a number on SK.
Yeah, tough task for SK. Not sure what to expect of them with the high pings, but certainly if you take nothing else from this match, kind of seeing some of the cool stuff that Cirque is able to do. A lot of the young players shining for NRG in this first map. We'll see how the second map goes when we return from the break. We'll have the analyst desk firsthand, and we'll get the second one underway, so stay with us.
Incendiary out.